Hi, welcome back to 10-Minute Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain a romantic comedy film from 1998 titled, There's Something About Mary. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. The film opens with a high school student named Ted asking Renese to be his prom date. However, she doesn't actually respond to his proposal. Later, he is with a group of his classmates as they notice Mary, the most stunning girl in school. Not just the boys, but also the girls, are captivated by her attractiveness. No one can look away from her since she is so attractive and charming. As she passes, everyone is interested to see who Mary will attend the prom with. Warren, a man with mental disabilities, is seen asking people if they have seen his baseball. Some classmates make fun of him by suggesting that he speak wiener instead of baseball. After asking a boy's girlfriend about his wiener, Warren ultimately gets a beating from the boy. Ted observes everything that's happening, and he steps in to put an end to the bullying. Mary appears out of nowhere and rushes to save her brother Warren. Everyone in the area is surprised to learn that Warren is her brother. Ted, Warren, and Mary play together as they travel back to their house. Before going inside her house, Mary asks Ted if he would like to go to the prom with her. Ted is in disbelief when Mary asks him to be her prom date. He says yes right away, and the two separate ways. Ted reveals to his friends that he is Mary's prom date and that they might have a chance of an encounter. But none of his friends accept that a person like Mary could pick Ted for her prom date. They bet with Ted for $1,000 that Mary won't be his prom date. In the next scene, Ted approaches Mary's house to take her to prom night. He is wearing an extravagant suit and is holding a gift for Mary. He knocks at the door, which is opened by Mary's father. He tries to make fun of Ted, telling him that Mary has already departed for the prom with someone else as her prom date. Just before the heartbroken Ted departs, Mary's mother intervenes in their conversation and tells him to get inside. She also tells her husband not to make fun of Ted. Soon Mary comes downstairs wearing a beautiful blue gown. She is looking extremely pretty in the dress. Ted presents his gift to her and later tries to give Warren a baseball. Warren, who's busy playing with the Rubik's Cube, does not pay attention when Ted calls him, but turns as soon as Ted says he has seen his baseball. Ted tries to give him a baseball as a gift, but instead gets beaten by Warren. It is Ted's fault that he tried to come near Warren's ears, who seems to be very obsessed with his ears and doesn't like anyone getting near them. While calming down Warren, Mary has her dress damaged. She then requests Ted wait a while she change into a new outfit. Ted, in the meantime, uses the restroom to pee. While in the restroom, he observes a pair of pigeons having a romantic moment. Mary and her mother, who are attempting to adjust Mary's outfit, spot him at that very moment. They believe that Ted is a pervert who is glancing at Mary while enjoying himself. Ted panics and scrambles to leave the bathroom, but his hot dog gets stuck in the zipper and he yells in pain, and everyone outside can hear him. Ted has been in this state for about an hour already, so Mary's father chooses to check inside the restroom since he is getting impatient. He is shocked to see Ted's condition when he walks in. He sends Mary's mother inside right away to have a peek at the problem. She advises Ted to apply some cream, and they all began making fun of Ted and his stupidity. He is soon transported in an ambulance to the hospital. This is how Ted's first date is destroyed. Fast forward to 13 years, Ted is now describing everything to his therapist, who just happened to show up as he was about to wrap up his story. However, the therapist appears to be eating something while ignoring what he is saying. When Ted later runs into his closest friend Dom advises hiring a private investigator to find out Mary. Ted accepts and goes to see Pat, a secret agent. The secret agent begins his investigation right away and is shown searching in Miami for Mary. In a short amount of time, he locates Mary and learns that she is an orthopedic surgeon living with her neighbor and friend, Magda. Pat can hear whatever Mary says since he covertly installed a microphone in her clothing. After following Mary for more than 2 days, Pat finds himself being attracted to Mary. He listens to Mary talking with her friends and gets to know that she loves the country Nepal. She also mentions that she likes architecture, and one day may Mary be an architect. After that, Ted and Pat meet to discuss the progress of the investigation. Pat lies to Ted that Mary has been married to 3 guys and also has 4 children from them. Listening to this, Ted feels that Mary is way out of his reach. On the other hand, we see Pat quitting his job and giving full attention to Mary and trying to impress her. He then joins the golf club, and during his small talk with Mary, he mentions that he frequently visits Nepal and is an architect who likes to create new designs. Pat's profession as an architect and his passion for Nepal impress Mary. Soon after, the two begin dating and hanging out together. Pat had the opportunity to meet Mary's handicapped buddy Tucker one evening. The British architect Tucker used crutches to walk due to a spine injury. After learning that Pat is also an architect, He asks Pat about the most recent designs and the university where Pat received his architectural degree. He appears to be puzzled, so he tries to turn the question around. He also provides unsuitable answers due to his lack of knowledge regarding a true architect. Later, Tucker meets Mary and lets her know the real story about Pat. He continues by saying that Pat is a serial killer and that he lies about everything, making a fool of her, and a distressed Pat is listening to this conversation inside his vehicle. Pat makes the decision to pursue Tucker when he departs Mary's apartment. After following him to his room, he discovers that Tucker is also a fake and is lying to Mary about his spine injury. Additionally, he works as a pizza delivery boy rather than an architect. Pat confronts Tucker one night as he is delivering the pizza and beats him up. Tucker then comes clean, admitting that he also has feelings for Mary and is posing as a crippled man to approach her. In the next scene, Ted gets to know through one of his friends that Mary is not married, and that he has been fooled by the private detective Pat. He then decides to fly to Florida to meet Mary. On his way, he gives a lift to an unknown person who's carrying a red bat. The person is actually a mouse murderer who leaves the dead body inside Ted's car. When he gets out to take a piss, Ted gets captured by some gay people. Soon he gets arrested by the police. Later he is rescued by his friend Dom, who bails him out of prison. Meanwhile, police also arrest the real culprit and Ted is now free of any more trouble. The next day, Ted notices Mary and calls out to her. Mary is surprised to see Ted after 13 years and mentions that he has become more handsome than before. Both of them seem to be fond of each other. They start getting close and go on dating and start falling in love. One day, Ted visits Mary's house to visit her neighbor, Magda. When he enters, he finds that Magda is high on drugs and is continuously vacuuming the furniture. Ted tries to help Mary and Magda get the dog out of the washroom, but instead gets attacked by the doggy. The dog gets into a tangle and falls out of the window. The injured Ted is laying on the floor, but Mary and Magda are in favor of the dog. In the following shot, Ted is seen shaking his hot dog inside the hotel restroom. He has a date with Mary that he must attend, but he is doing it in the restroom. When Mary comes and knocks on the door, Ted is busy looking for the liquid that he shot out of his hot dog, but is unable to locate it, then opens the door to Mary. The liquid is on his ears, and Mary applies the liquid to her hair thinking it is hair gel, since Mary has applied something sort of a hair gel, which makes her hair look odd and funny. However, Mary and Ted's relationship seemed to have worked out well for both of them. Mary agrees that Ted is the ideal partner for her. She also informs Magda that she wants to marry Ted because he is a good man. When everything appears to be going smoothly, Mary receives an anonymous letter stating that Ted hired Pat, a personal detective, to keep an eye on Mary. Mary becomes upset that Ted tried to spy on her, but Ted explains that he went through all of this just to find her and see how she was doing. However, Mary is in no mood to listen to this. She asks him to leave her place. Ted then arrives at Pat's location and is surprised to see Tucker healthy and able to walk without the help of crutches. On the other hand, Mary is confronted by Dom, who turns out to be her former boyfriend Woogie, who got weird on her back in high school. He confesses that he is the one who wrote the anonymous letter informing him about Ted. Dom then asked Mary to marry him, but she rejects his proposal immediately. Meanwhile, Tucker, Pat, and Ted also arrive at the location. Mary is now surrounded by her lovers who are all liars. Tucker lied to Mary of her previous interest in football player Brett Favre. Ted concludes that Mary should be with Brett because he is the only one who did not use deception to win her over. Brett is summoned, and Mary gives him a bear hug. After reuniting Brett and Mary, Ted walks away in tears. The musicians are laughing at Ted while also performing music while observing his state. Ted hears Mary calling his name and racing toward him in the final scene as he is leaving Mary's house. Mary immediately approaches him and confesses her love for him, stating that she has no other love and that she also wants to wed him. Hearing this, Ted smiles, and the movie closes with the couple sharing a passionate kiss. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you're new, and at last, I would say stay well, stay safe, thanks.